Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the second deck list of the day. Again, sorry for the delays, but this is the Dark Tree Dark Elves list created by Josh. Very, very fun take on updated Tree. Definitely recommend giving it a shot. A lot of really cool cards in here that I think make good synergy with Tree. I'll also be talking a little bit about what cards I think could probably be cut from the build, so we'll go ahead and dig into that. So first up we have Malefic Tree up here. If you don't know what Malefic Tree does, it has Energize for green, or I believe it's green, yeah, just green, and it pays, you can't gain life, and instead of taking damage, you mill cards from the top of your deck to the RFG. So the way you keep Tree is by decking it out, essentially. And then it can pay 1 green, 1 black, and tap, and target a Rezard, an Arla, a Melgus, or a Machina that's RFG'd, and bring it into play at instant speed from, yeah, like I said, from removed from game. So potentially very, very powerful. You just got to be really careful about your will management early on in the game. Stone base for this is black, green, white. So stone base is 4 black silence, 4 Heaven's Rift, and 2 demonic soul stones. The demonic soul stone is really helpful to try to burn your opponent out to finish the game. You have a lot of dark elves, as you can see. I definitely think this stone can kind of get cut. So as I'm talking about, we're going to be thinking about cutting quite a few of these dark elves out. But the demonic soul stone is a nice little way to just like, oh, if your opponent hasn't really messed with your creatures, you can start pinging them for damage and help finish the game off faster. So we play 4 of Shade Assassins, so this is the one that has Death Touch to Resonators, or if you control another Dark Elf, it gets Swiftness, which I think can be really nice. We also play 4 Dark Spies, so this card I definitely think can get cut, the Dark Elf Assassins. I don't think it's necessarily important. I definitely really like the Dark Elf Spy, though. This is a 1-drop 4/4, excellent stat line, and just says at the end of each one of your turns, ping each player for 100. So this means mill 1 from your deck, but also hits your opponent for 100 damage. And with a 4/4 stat line, it's really good as a 1-drop. Then we play 4 Hildas and 4 Freylas, or sorry, Safinas, my apologies. So Hildas and Safinas get buffed when your life is 2,000 or less to become 7/7s. Hilda grabs a Safina from the graveyard when she comes into play. Safina grabs a Hilda from the deck when she comes into play. So it's a way to kind of keep your hand filled. The stat lines aren't super ideal, and I definitely think there are better cards that you can fill in with that slot, but it is to help be consistent. Also, if your Safinas get RFG'd, then Hilda really doesn't do anything. Then we have 4 Treasonous Cards. So this is a 2-drop 6/6 that when it comes into play, both players take 2 damage. I really like this for the Dark Elves. This is essentially play 2, hit your opponent for 2, draw 2 cards for Dark Elf. It gets 2 of your cards RFG'd really fast, and a really good body, solid body for a 2-drop. Play 4 Abduls because, you're a dark deck and you're going to kind of want to make sure those enter effects don't really resolve as much as possible. So 2-drop 6/6 also really good. We play 1 Melgus. There's no real way to hard cast him. We have to get him RFG'd, so he can be a dead card in hand. But if you need to finish off the game and you've got the life points to do it, you can burn the life to just finish your opponent off. Arla as a 2-of, it's nice to have the flyer, and being able to burn life to kill stuff is really nice. 3 Machina to help with will production. Don't necessarily know if I would keep 3. I'd probably go 3 Arla, 2 Machina, personally. This deck doesn't really necessarily need a lot of will, especially since we're planning on kind of cutting these 2-drops down a little bit. So I definitely think you can kind of mitigate that a little. 4 Rezards, he is your primary win con. You get so many monsters RFG'd. As you can see, there's 30 plus monsters here in the deck, so Rezard can get very huge. You can also pay life to get cards RFG'd that are necessary. He can just be a beater that just wins you games by himself. 2 Dark Little Red. I kind of want to pump this up to 3 potentially. 7/8, excellent. You can't RFG stuff with mystery counters because you don't play mystery counters, but at the same time, usually your life is 1,000 or less when you're trying to play her, at which point she has Swiftness and Death Touch and pings something for 2 damage every time she attacks, which then does Death Touch. So she is a very big tempo swing card. Really like her a lot, and a good stat line. Then we have 4 Faded Reunions. This is a draw consistency thing. You usually have 2 black creatures on field, so for 2, this says put any card in your deck in your hand. And you don't have to reveal it, which is nice. Very easy to keep 2 creatures on board. 4 Final Battles, because you don't necessarily care about life, and eventually you can get to a point, especially if you tweak the deck around, where you're going to have a lot more stones, so you can cast multiple Final Battles per game. Same thing with Heteroclite Excalibur. You're using your life as a resource, and this just says 1-drop, kill anything you need to. 4 releases to be able to grab the stuff from the RFG, particularly recycling things like Final Battle or Dark Little Red or Abdul, so you can use them again. 2 Severing Winds, and then 1 Neo Barrier of Shadows, 1 Erasure, 1 Castle of Oni, 1 Zero Circles of Protection, and 2 Amaterasu's Foresight. I kind of think that I would rather, over the Zero's Protection or the Neo Barrier, play a 3rd Amaterasu's, just for that additional fog, because sometimes decks can rush you down to the point where you need to be able to, you can't really tap for stone, you can't really afford to tap for stone, because you have to keep kind of Rezards alive and stuff like that. But again, those are just some of my thoughts. Cards that I would kind of like to see in here, potentially to replace these 4 cards, would probably be 4 Melfi's, especially if we change these stones to maybe black-green, and then 4 Red Riding Hoods to help ramp us a stone. We can reuse it to have a swiftness person. It is double green, which kind of is expensive, but again, we're probably changing the stone base since we're pulling a lot of those Dark Elves out. But then again, there's a lot of different directions you can take this deck. You can add in red, you can add in blue, all kinds of stuff. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. Again, huge thanks to Josh for shipping me the list and for playing it on the channel. Hope you guys liked it. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.